start the next session. Allow me to introduce Krishna Kumar, who is the COO of 999 Technology.
Spot on.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, that's more lively. You had a good flight in? I think we should have lights on in the room. People are sleeping. Console lights, please. Lights in the hall. Light it up so that nobody is sleeping. Okay? So the agenda says strategy, right? Role play. Okay. You are ready for role play? Now the lights are on. Now I can see your faces. You can't sleep. So the role that you are going to play is not just one single role. You are going to play two different roles. So for the next 2.5 hours, forget who you are, what you are. You are going to take on two new roles. We are going to have some fun. Don't take it too seriously. We are going to have some fun. Okay? Our objective is to forget that we are all IT people and to get into the head and mind of the line of business guy. Okay? Since we are IT people, we cannot completely forget that we are IT people. So in the second half of it, after getting into their head, we'll get into the head of the IT head, the CIO of that company. So that's the two roles we're going to play. One is a line of business head of the company. Second is the IT head of the company. Since we don't get to choose our colleagues in real life, in this role play also we don't get to choose our colleagues. So each table is sitting here, the way you're sitting right now, don't change. Each of you is a team. Each table is a team. The table has a number. This is table number 3, table number 4, table number 20, right somewhere in the back. And the numbers there on that card there. And in front of the table, most of you have not noticed it, there's a large sheet of paper. You see that? Now that is your answer paper. We are back to school, right? So it's time to take that paper in hand. So the story, the case study that we are going to present is actually telling you about 3 different events that happened in the life of the company. We talk about what happens in the annual general meeting. We talk about what happens in the internal half-yearly review. And we talk about what happens in the board meeting. Now you're familiar with all these things, right? Annual general body meeting, internal half-yearly review, board meeting, nothing new, right? Now based on this, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the CXO. Now you don't get to choose the CXO. In your sheet is written there what role each table is playing. So this table will probably be the chief marketing officer, right? Somewhere there you have the CFO, somewhere there you have the HR head, somewhere there you have logistics, operations. So in the first half of this exercise, you are the chief marketing officer or the chief HR head or whatever. And in the left half of the sheet, you will write down the objectives of that person based on the case study. Do you get me? Yes or no? Okay, so first half, you are the whatever the sheet tells you, and you write down the objectives of that person based on the case study. In the second half, you switch, and now you are the CIO of that company. Now you already set down the objective, right? Now as a CIO, solve those objectives. Solve for those objectives. What technology, what solutions will we implement to achieve those 2 objectives? You do it every day, right? Let's do it for somebody else right now. And, oh, sorry, I forgot to put in the Can I have sound on the sound?
Customer for
Okay, sorry about that.
from the perspective of a CTO, I am an internal customer for a technology guy. What is very critical for you people is actually to look at internal customers, what they are looking at. Now, if you talk about cloud and all that, I only heard about cloud and all that, but I may not understand. So you might have to translate those languages to the way we actually look at, because I have used. That is, please translate whatever you talk to me into a business sense. Then it makes sense for me. One of the biggest challenge what all the CFOs are facing is the controls, the internal controls, which is extremely critical, and compliances.
Okay, so that was a real life CFO telling you what he is looking for out of this case study, right? Now the case study has been distributed, and in the true is being distributed, and the true sense of transformation, if you open it, it's not a typical case study. What you have given is a comic book. I know that some of you who have participated in TPL was expecting a 20-page case study. We decided to transform the case study into something else. So what you are getting is a comic book. Okay? Now when you do the second part, after you finish this, we'll put it up on the walls there for your solution, 2 walls, white walls on the sides. We'll put it up for it to be judged. There's going to be a prize, right? Otherwise there's no fun in life. So there's going to be a prize and it's going to be judged. Do you want to know who is the judge? You don't want to know who is the judge, but you want to know what is the prize. Very bad, very bad. Sorry? I will not tell you what the price is. I can tell you who the judge is. You are the judge. What will happen is each of you will be given a voting dot. You will go and stick that dot onto the case study that you think is the best. And the one that gets the maximum number of dots is a winner. Right? The team is a winner. And we'll keep a watch to see that nobody comes and changes the dots around. Don't worry about that. And like in all cases of transformation, we have a little bit of transformation there. You cannot vote for your own team. So team number 1 will get dots with 1. Team number 2 will get dots with 2. So any dot on team number 2's sheet with 2 will not count. Okay? Everybody's busy reading their comments, right? Any questions? I need lights here, people are sleeping. I don't need the screen, I need the lights here. Any questions? No questions? Now, if you read the last page, the last printed page, it also tells you that the CIO of this company has already invested in certain technologies, and he doesn't have budgets for more. So your presentations your solutions would be limited to those stacks. Fair enough? Are you ready to go tracking? Or are you sleeping? Hello? Are you ready? Okay. Now to get going, I'll get the stacks that the CIO got invested into to come and talk to you about what this guy has purchased, so that you get a better sense of what to do. So I'm going to invite Akash Mainra, Akash from BlackBerry, to talk about the first stack. Akash, it's all yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Akash Mainra. I'm an enterprise sales manager with BlackBerry. I'm based at BlackBerry's office in Gurgaon. Looking at the case study, what we thought we basically talk about looking at the unique business problem, what they're basically facing at, what are really the top business requirements what they have? So just going through, I just want to highlight a couple of like key of them. Basically, what we felt was that all the systems of the 27 hospitals really they need to be linked with each other to share information, reports to enable better and faster communication and collaboration among the medical staff at different locations. Secondly, they need to have a centralized patient information system to enable access information of patients at one of its locations by the doctors and staff while they're on the move on their mobile devices, enabling them to save time while delivering very well-informed care. Absolutely, they need access to very comprehensive dashboards to be made available on the move to the medical staff, enabling them to monitor every aspect of patient care. They absolutely need to implement systems to make hospitals absolutely paperless. They need greater coordination to increase capacity utilization. They need to implement a very much simplified business process, a billing experience. They need to decrease addition rates among doctors, nurses, and general staff. They also need to implement very strong systems to enable telemedicine to reach out to rural areas. They need to also implement, basically have in-house testing labs to reduce cost, reliance on external testing agency, and absolutely, to now really leverage social media to retain, capture new customers, and engage strong ties with this large and diverse staff socially. But of course, with all these challenges, the main thing what the CEO really wants is, yes, there is absolutely strong amount of growth which he can foresee, but we need to focus on cost and cost and cost each and every way, because that is your overall focus. Fine, you're going to give me growth, you're going to give me results, but the cost needs to be controlled each and every way. So based on these challenges, we thought, what kind of solutions from BlackBerry we think which would be valuable to these medical institutions or so. I'm going to talk briefly about a couple of them. While these are applicable, yes, for the hospitals out there, for the medical world out there, but pretty much all these underlying solutions what we're really talking about, similar kind of solutions are there which can be replicated, which are pre-built solutions which are basically out there from BlackBerry, which we have, these are basically pre-built solutions which can be implemented. It doesn't matter which vertical you come from, whether you're from the banking, from the insurance, from manufacturing, you name it, absolutely these can be replicated in other verticals as well. So starting first from, which would be very much valuable to the doctors out there would be, whenever, let's say you go to the doctor, to the hospital, and you want to get your x-ray done or whatsoever, typically the way these systems are built, it takes a long time first for the x-rays to be taken, then afterwards the results need to be passed on to the doctor, and the doctor is likely not in the hospital at the time and so on. So basically we have a solution with a couple of partners whereby the actual x-ray images, once they're scanned, once they're taken, they can be very quickly processed, and wherever the doctor is, he can basically access them on the move, on his BlackBerry straight away. In fact, we've actually implemented this with the Max Hospital in Gurgaon, and they're seeing a lot of benefits with it for sure. And also, it's not just about seeing X-ray images, but also being able to see a whole bunch of medical reports as well on the move, all the actual patients which are out there or so. Once those images are taken, or once those actual those kind of reports are which are accessed by the doctors, what the doctors want to make sure is that they want to basically share it with among their key colleagues, so they can of course use the actual VPN platform itself to basically pass those images or those reports instantly with other colleagues by using the VPN group features very much so. With the new BlackBerry 10. With the new BlackBerry 10 smartphone, in that there's a feature called the VPN video chat, whereby if I'm trying to explain some kind of report or image or whatever, I'm not able to basically explain it properly. I can very easily share my entire screen so that my colleague on the other side can basically view it, and basically we can talk at the same time and basically discuss that particular, and we both see the same result at the same time to make the informed decision. Second aspect is, the doctors, the patients come in, and sometimes they need to be, on a whole bunch of systems, and very critical, ECG, ECG reports, are basically come out, and the key medical staff, they're on the move. They need to get access to those reports all the time. So we have applications, we have partners who we actually implemented this in India itself, whereby wherever the doctor is, he can actually monitor the key ECG, systems while on the move. Thirdly, while doctors are out there, the actual database of of the known issues, of the known medicines out there are very, very large, and it becomes very difficult for the doctor to basically remember each and every like medicine out there, or each and every kind of like solution out there. So we have a whole bunch of partners who actually built applications for the BlackBerry platform, whereby based on the known issues or so whatever, if you punch in the known system, outcome will be from this huge database actually what could be the particular problem or so, and having this kind of system on the move with the doctors can be absolutely be very much helpful to basically give very fast results, and of course better collaborate as well. Digital dictations, whenever I go to a doctor, whenever he basically writes something on his scratch pad or so, he tells me what is the medicine to take. I can hardly understand it. But sure, I'm not sure if you guys as well. Yes, when the doctors basically write out what they really want or so, their supporting staff can't really understand them. So there are some really good systems out there which we have mobilized, whereby the doctor would basically speak into the smartphone, and the actual system would basically translate effectively what the doctor has said, and then again that report, that that information will go to their support staff, and then the output can be iterated very easily. Mobile learning solution, absolutely. Yes, there's lots and lots of new technologies, lots of new lots of new kind of issues or so problems coming up in the medical world as well, and the doctors need to be trained very effectively as well, and it's very, very hard to basically get time from the doctor to basically for them to basically go through a certain training cycle or so. There are lots of we have lots of partners who've implemented solutions whereby those particular content, those particular trainings, they can be very effectively packaged onto the BlackBerry platform, so that wherever the doctor is going, whenever he has a spare time, or their supporting staff, they can basically go through those training solutions or so effectively. Unified communications today, especially in this particular environment where they're going to be having a network of 27 hospitals across the country, one of the key things would be that they would need to implement a unified IP telephony systems or so. So the problem is when the doctor is basically moving around the hospital, he needs to get access to his IP desk phone as well. So now what we're able to do with our mobile voice system technology, we're able to basically integrate our BlackBerry smartphone with the IP PBX. So essentially, your BlackBerry becomes your IP desk phone itself. So it doesn't matter whoever wants to reach with you. When the call basically lands at your desk phone, it also lands at your BlackBerry as well, such that you have a unified communications overall solution in your pocket itself. Of course, the basic drugs, yes, the doctors to be able to collaborate much more effectively. We want them to, of course, besides getting access to their emails all the time on the move, but also being able to basically have access to their key documents, which might be the actual Microsoft Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, with the documents to go solution. A solution from BlackBerry itself on the BlackBerry smartphones. The doctors can basically view their actual reports through Word, Excel, PowerPoint very much on the go. So, lastly, something which we'll be introducing very, very shortly across the world is something called BlackBerry channels. Which is called BBM channels. A BBM channel is essentially a feature of BBM itself, whereby a lot of companies, a lot of let's say the hospital. They want to basically build a strong relationships with their patients, or perhaps with their internal staff as well. But what they want to do, they want to essentially basically send out information about new innovations from the hospital, so new programs and so on. They can now basically push that out through the BBM itself to their actual past customers, their current customers, and so on, and then the customer themselves, through this unique real-time technology whereby they can basically read it through their BBM itself, and they can reply back, and so it's kind of like a combination of a Facebook and a Twitter all in one combined. And more importantly, I will be launching this solution, not BBM actually, not just for BlackBerry, which we have today, but also will be launching it for cross-platform. So within a very short while, this BBM BBM will be available on iOS and Android platform as well. And then for the back end, the actual overall hospital staff, they can actually monitor the overall progress in terms of how the people are actually using this information are using it effectively or not, and so on. Lastly, in the end, when the overall back-end systems is really supporting all the mobile devices out there from the aspect of security controls and everything, Yes, of course, the actual BlackBerry smartphones can be managed very well effectively from the BlackBerry Enterprise Server platform. But now the new BlackBerry Enterprise Server 10 platform, now we can very well manage not only just BlackBerry smartphone, but also now we can manage iOS and Androids as well. So pretty much a single system. The way we are able to basically securely, we're able to manage BlackBerry platform. Now we've extended that to other platforms as well. So again, a comprehensive system which the actual hospital network can deploy to manage all the mobile devices out there. So that's all I just want to share. Thank you very much.